because I have not clicked the button in your reality. Guys, we are here with Yelisa. If we have any issues with our sound or our camera or our just anything, please let us know in the chat. We are testing new software again because YouTube changed everything again. They changed everything yesterday again, right before our live stream, because that's what they do. So yeah, we're trying to get everything figured out. I saw Renee Christine on yesterday testing some software. So it looks like this is just the norm for all of the YouTubers. Everybody says that everything sounds great, so that's perfect.
Good.
What software do you use to record your computer screen? I use OBS, Open Broadcast System. Hi, so excited to catch this live stream. Guys, if this is your first live stream, let us know in the comments. We hang out for the first 10 minutes of every live stream to give you news and details and fun stuff and yada yada, and basically to wait for our alphas to get online, which it looks like they're flooding in now. Thank you to all the alphas who are accepting of my rushed email that I may or may not have sent 10 minutes before this stream started. It's been a busy morning. And then Yelisa got on, and then we had one stream, and we had to kill that stream and start a new stream because that stream messed up, and I was frozen, and it was a mess. So Mr. Moore is here. He's just upstairs. That way, if any tech errors occur, we will have him to help. But, you know, we don't want him on screen today because if he was sitting beside me, his body would be here. Wait, let me put there. His body would be here, and Yelisa's head would be his head because she's a little head on the camera now, or on the screen, and that would look really weird. So that's why Mark isn't here for interviews. All right, everyone's saying hi, Yelisa and Starla. Oh no, wait, now we can't hear you.
Oh,
you got it.
Now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Yay! All right, guys. So today we're going to be going over Yelisa's top 5 Etsy success tips, which Yelisa, when she joined Handmade Alpha Academy, you already had your shop set up, right?
Yes, I had joined HTU in, I don't know when, but I opened my shop up in December. And so from December to June, I had been doing HTU stuff on my shop.
Okay. And then you joined HAA
in June.
Okay. And then that's where you picked up. And,
yes.
And you picked up right from where you left off with HTU. And we get that question a lot, guys. We get people, and for those who don't know what these acronyms are, HTU is Renee Christine's Handmade Titan University. HAA is my Handmade Alpha Academy, and we get the question a lot, what's the difference? Are they different? And yes, they're very different, because HTU is a handmade marketing course, which I highly recommend, but Handmade Alpha Academy is exclusively Etsy. So if you're transferring from one to the other, or, taking both, I don't recommend taking both at the same time. I'm sure Yelisa agrees that would be very confusing and probably a lot of headaches, but if you are interested in taking HAA and you've already taken HTU, I would say that 100% of our alphas who are also in HTU say that HAA was completely different subject material and still very beneficial. So, Yelisa, if you have anything to add to that.
Yes. I definitely do have something to add because I was in like the baby phase of HTU, thankfully, when I joined HAA. So it was easy for me to just jump on and do HAA way. I mean, do it the HAA way. But I was grateful that I signed up for Handmade Alpha Academy because it was so very targeted to Etsy. And one of the things that I keep on talking about is that I struggled a lot with copy. So there's a lot of ways that Starla was kind of holding my hand, going through everything that I needed to really, really set up in my shop. And that made a huge difference. And the SEO method as well. At the time that I joined HAA, they had made a change where Renee had a super awesome SEO formula and Etsy changed everything. And I was trying to kind of figure out, the basics were still there, but I was kind of trying to figure out how to get into a good placement. And wow, Starla had it there. So, yep.
And that happens a lot, guys. Etsy changes stuff, and there are a lot of courses out there. Thankfully, I only really associate with good guys in the industry, but there are some Etsy courses out there where you buy what you get, and it doesn't get updated when things get changed. So that's just one of the many benefits of HAA. So we'll talk more about HAA at the end if you guys end up having some questions. Everybody's super duper excited for December 1st, though. That is when it opens. It will only be open for 10 days. So if you're not on the waiting list, the link for that is down below next to the little graduation cap. But down there, if you click show more, you're also going to find all of Yelisa's links if you want to check out what she sells before we jump into the interview. That way, by the time we're ready to accept some questions, you guys will have lots of questions, because I'm sure that when you look at her shop and you see how well branded and how nice everything is, you might develop some questions along the way. So, little bits of news. This upcoming Tuesday, we are going to be doing a holiday series video, and we're only going to do those Tuesday holiday series videos up until Black Friday, because these are gearing you up for Black Friday. After Black Friday, we're not doing holiday series videos anymore. That will be the end of that series. And we might pick up with a new series. We haven't decided yet. Nate and I will have to talk about it a little bit more. What I need to know from you guys is, I was thinking about redoing my double dip Black Friday sale video and maybe adding in just some extra points and tips. I know that's a video I've already done, but it's 2 years old. The sound quality isn't the best, though the process is the same. Would you guys like a reboot on that? That way it is a little bit higher quality. So let me know if that would be a beneficial holiday series video for you. For those who have never heard of double dipping, it's basically a hack where you can make your whole Etsy shop on sale, and then your shoppers, if you would like to offer an extra discount to your very special people, your VIPs or your email list, they can stack a coupon code on top of an existing sale. So you could do like 10% off your whole shop, but they can stack a 10% discount on top of that. And I do 30% off my whole shop with a 30% discount on top of that. I know you guys probably think that sounds crazy, but I price to accommodate those sales. We actually teach how to do that in HAA. But when shoppers see this, they kind of like have this, they automatically think 60%. But it's not 60%. So just keep that in mind, that like if you're doing like a 10% sale and you offer a 10% coupon, that's not a 20% off discount. It's 10% off your 10% discount. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys would like that redone, let me know in the comments. Everybody says awesome. Okay, so keep, if the comment's the same, don't waste your time making, or use your time making something new. We would add new stuff to it. We would add new things to it. It's just I'm trying to reboot the stuff where the content isn't like top notch. So other bits of news. I am still sick. This has been, whenever our last Bitchcraft event was, which was October 27th. 27th? Yeah. So however many weeks that was away, I'm still sick. So if my voice goes out today, Yelisa is going to pull the slack, and she's going to speak for the both of us. She's going to speak on behalf of. So, Stephanie Jones, I wish Etsy would only allow so many coupons to be used. You can't stack coupons on Etsy. You can't use more than one. You can only use one coupon on Etsy. They can only apply one to their cart. So, I don't know if that was your question or not. All right, guys. Well, it is 11:59 on the dot for us. It's probably a totally different time for you guys because there is such an intense lag. But we're going to jump right in because Yelisa has 5 top Etsy success tips to share with you guys today. So, Yelisa, first of all, what makes you qualified to even talk about Etsy success tips? You want to talk about your own Etsy success as of November 15th, 2019, and a little bit about your story and what you sell?
Yes, of course. And and I'm so sorry. I'm also sick.
Oh,
but
no.
yes, and that is why I was drinking my ginger tea, because I was like, let me try and, give my voice a little bit of a
Oh no, you're fine. And I'm drinking my water too, so.
Yeah. So, well, I just wanted to let you guys know that right now, if I didn't surpass the 1,500 items sold already, around that. Very close to having sold 1,500 items on Etsy. And I just want to let you guys know also that even though I started HTU in June, and from June to December, I saw a hike in sales and everything. Like this year, I've seen that every month it was double or triple what I sold last year during the same month. Because on Etsy, it's very hard to compare one month with another. So my comparison has been the same month last year versus this month this year, and it's double, triple the sales. And wow, that is like amazing. And it's just because I keep on doing everything that HTU has taught me, and it's a sustainable method, for me to continuously grow and improve my business.
HAA.
I'm
And HTU.
I got all mixed up, but yes, we're talking about HAA. Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. You would not believe how frequently I do that live on camera, just because here's the thing. You don't have, and I'm trying to find a video that's like why my eyes are over in this corner of my screen, but you don't have to have one to take the other, but they were designed like puzzle pieces. I was a student of Renee Christine. I loved her program so much that she came to me actually and said, hey, you have this very successful Etsy YouTube channel, and I had so many alphas asking me to create an in-depth program that would teach them how to do what I did. So I made the decision to create HAA along with her help. And that's kind of how that all happened. But I created HAA in a way where it would fit with HTU like a puzzle piece. So, Yelisa, do you want to talk about what specifically you sell? For I know that a lot of our jewelry alphas out there say, oh, it's so saturated, you can never be successful in jewelry, but you started in 2018, is it 2017 or 18?
Well, basically January last year, because it was like it was already past the holiday shopping. I was just so desperate to just get my Etsy shop up and running that I don't know, it was like December 20 something. I don't even remember, but yeah. So I sell jewelry, and I'm not even sure if you guys can see this. So I'm going to put it right on top of my face because I can't see myself on camera and see how that's going. So I sell jewelry, and these are just like the ones that I just showed you are adjustable bracelets. I also have like a little pendant. I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's jewelry. It's natural gemstone jewelry. So HAA taught me on how to give it a spin so that it would be my own unique thing to sell, so that, I would stand out, because my niche is so very saturated that I had to niche down within my niche.
Right. So she doesn't just sell jewelry. She sells natural gemstone jewelry, and everything that she does aligns. And that's kind of how last week, if you watched our interview with Linda Barutha, where we're talking about specializing, finding a target market, niching down your product lines, and catering to a very specific type of person. If she would have just marketed herself as, beaded bracelets, for example, there are a million beaded bracelet shops out there, and she would be competing with every single beaded bracelet shop. But instead, she is competing within the natural gemstone jewelry market, which is going to be significantly smaller. So,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So, yeah, and I took it even further because I'm a Reiki master. So it's not just any gemstone bracelet. It's a Reiki imbued gemstone bracelet. And you get so much more because when you buy something from my shop, you're not just buying that product. You're buying the whole experience. I even offer exclusive VIP perks to my VIPs, like free Reiki charge every week. I send an email on my automated email series where I invite them to join that free Reiki cleanse, because I do have to have the written permission for it. So the only way to get in is by replying to that email and saying, yes, I want in, or yes, that's all they have to do. And, I'm sending cleansing energy to your bracelet every single week if you're a VIP and you replied yes to that email. I don't know of anybody that does this.
And how many people usually, I mean, do you have like good turnouts? Do a lot of people from your VIP list respond and say yes? Like, do you have good
Yes.
response rates? That's awesome.
I do. I do. And most of those people end up joining my group because that's another way, like another trick that I have is it's not really a trick, but it's the whole complementing the things in business where I tell them, well, I'm going to be posting the times and dates where I'm going to be doing this on the Facebook group. So feel free to join the Facebook group if you want to know when I'm doing this. And that way you can set intentions and, really accept all that good energy that's coming your way. And they do it. They sign up for my group.
And that's all, and that caters to a very specific target market. And keep in mind, guys, each one of you should have your own specific target market. And if you say to yourself, how can I get my VIPs to engage, or I want to start doing maybe like Facebook Live sessions, you just have to think of what it is that they are going to want to attend and be most interested in. For me, I will launch my keys publicly and hold them up one by one. And I have so many people in my Facebook group, which that's linked way down at the bottom, all the way down at the bottom if you open up that description. But if you would like to join my Facebook group and kind of poke around in there, you can kind of see how the engagement is. But basically, I hold these live launches where people they go crazy, they explode, they fight each other to get my keys, to claim them. So that's how I create that viral buzz. And it's almost like the chase, the game behind it is what my fans like. I've seen some people do like live book readings, which, I mean, that's such a weird thing, but depending on your industry, if you do like, maybe you sell children's accessories and you do a live children's book reading where you dress up as a character and, 2 p.m. every day, you can put, your preschoolers in front of the computer and they can listen to somebody dressed up like a character doing a puppet show reading children's books. There's a million things that you guys could do. You just have to think about what is the interest of my target customer. So, all right, Yelisa, do you have some tips for us that you would like to get into now that we know a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that I've grown a lot during this past year. I grew a lot the first 6 months I was in HAA, but once I kind of figure out how things ran and I was getting comfortable in doing things a certain way, I started seeing a lot of growth happening. So I started having so let's say it this way, more orders started to come in. So I had to find a way to make this sustainable because, it's fine. You want to reach that point where you get more orders. But if you don't know what to do with them, then that is going to also be an epic fail for your system, for your system in your shop, because people are going to be placing orders and then you're going to start losing customers, right? Because you're not able to give them a quality service that they were used to receiving from you. So the first tip I have is organize yourself. You need to be organized. Even if you're a chaotic person, find a way to have a system that works for you. For me, it works to create routines, right? And these routines are not fixed in time. These routines have to evolve as my business evolves. So don't think that you set a routine today and that's the routine you're going to use forever and ever. You will need to tweak it. You will also not necessarily be successful when you implement your first routine. That one may need to evolve because you'll learn from whichever mistakes you did. I remember that I used to go to the post office every single day because in the beginning I wanted people to feel that I was getting their orders out super fast, and that gained me customers, but that was unsustainable. I can't go to the post office every single day because that's precious time that I'm not using growing my business. So I came up with a system let me see which days are the best days for me to go to the post office. So I go 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the orders and how I'm caught up. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've done. The other thing is, yes.
You didn't overpromise on that though. For example, you didn't make some promise every order is shipped every single day. That was part of your under promise and over deliver strategy, and you're still over delivering. by going more frequently than what's listed in your shop. And that was one of the things that we talked about, was that, under promise, and then when you over deliver, your fans are just going to go crazy. Your customers are going to go crazy, and they're going to thank you for all of those ways that you've gone out of your way, even if in Yelisa's case she's actually had to scale back a little bit, and she might not be going every single day, but if her listing states that it's going to ship in how many days does your listing state?
1 to 3 days.
1 to 3 days, and she's going 3 times a week, and she's shipping way faster than what they're expecting, or meeting expectations. Still, maybe there's a day when she's especially busy and she still meets expectations. Like, that's still going to keep that positive image up. So sorry, that was my little chime in.
Yeah, definitely. And that is something that my customers appreciate. And then since I go like only 3 times a week, sometimes some people do get their orders shipped within that same day that they place the order. Like, let's say they place it early in the morning and I'm kind of caught up with orders. That person will get their order that same day shipped. So, I still get enough people that get the 1 day. Most people get the 2 days, and some people get the 3 days because, it all depends on everything. But I still keep within those time frames. And if I don't deliver for some reason, like the last week I was traveling and I had issues with orders. So I apologize. I let everybody know. And I included something extra for them. In some cases, depending on the order, I was like, oh, please choose a free bracelet from my shop. I'm so sorry. It's so embarrassing. This is so out of character for me, which it is. And they know it is because they've been with me for 2 years and they know that this is the first time that it's happened. So.
And no one gets angry about that either. I mean, I've done that a few weeks ago. I had 2 orders that needed to ship a day late because I was just so sick and I didn't feel comfortable packing an order and touching the products with as sick as I was. I did not feel comfortable doing that. And Mark cannot gift wrap at all. Don't ask him to gift wrap for you. Do not hire him for Christmas because he can't do it. So, and I did the same thing. I sent them a free item. Excuse me. And I told them, that this never happens. I am so sick. I don't feel comfortable touching your products with as sick as I am. I don't want to send any germs in the mail. And they were thankful that I didn't. They said, please, thank you so much. Thank you for thinking of us. Thank you for, taking the time that you need to get better so you can do what you need to do. Customers, as long as you maintain that level of communication, they're generally pretty accepting. It's just when you don't let them know that, oh, your order's shipping a week late. By the way, I'm just now letting you know the day that it's shipping. That's when things get sketchy. So as long as you're maintaining communication, if an emergency occurs on your end, I mean, that's the difference between us and Walmart. We have emergencies. Yeah. Customers understand a lot more.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I had, so I traveled, right? And I took a lot of orders and stuff with me and I shipped them from where I went. But there was this one particular order that I couldn't because I didn't bring my stretch cord with me. And I don't like to work with anything else. And I couldn't find it in the local shops. So I told that person, I'm so sorry, but I didn't find anything that I would be comfortable making my bracelet with. And I'm just terribly sorry that, I made this mistake, that I forgot to bring it with me. And she was like, oh my gosh, I appreciate so much that you're still taking care of the quality of my item and don't worry about it. And she was super nice and understanding. So I offered to bump her shipping to priority mail. She was a repeat customer. So I want to treat repeat customers especially well too, because they'll keep on coming. And then, we came back 2 days later. So a second time that I was failing this lady. So I even added an extra item in there and, she was awesome about it and she was fine. So yeah. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, letting them know, because when you don't let them know, that's when problems happen.
Right. And we've got a lot of people in the comments saying, why don't you do USPS pickup right to your door? And I don't do it either, guys. I go straight to the post office because I do not, especially like with my fluctuating temperatures, hot and cold where I live in Ohio, I don't trust leaving my packages due to weather, due to animals, due to, we live in a good neighborhood, but you never know. Somebody could steal them. That's why I don't do it. Yelisa, do you have any...
Yes, my mail lady, she's awesome, but what we don't have her all the time. We once or twice a week we have a temp, right?
Mhm.
Because she gets days off too. So I never know when those days are, and if it happens to be that temp that picks it up, they don't scan the scanning order. My items don't track, and they've gotten lost because they don't start tracking at pickup. So to me, I also live 5 minutes away from the post office, so to me, it's worth to just do that in person and avoid a whole bunch of headaches, because the last 2 times that I've had to do it, one because I was traveling and another one, I don't remember what it was, I got 2 orders lost. I rarely get an order lost because I hand it in and it tracks immediately once I hand it in. So 2 orders that I've had to replace just because of that. So it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, I want to see like my post office guy take my package and scan it. Like, I want to watch him do that. And there's some days that I can't do that because I've got like an entire bag of orders and I just dump them out on the counter. There's nothing funnier, guys, if you print your orders, there's nothing funnier than going to the post office right before Christmas with a big bag of packages and dumping those suckers out on the counter and then leaving and having like the whole line of people that you just cut in front of stare at you. Because you can just take that stuff up and leave it, like, on the counter or in whatever drop box they have. And you don't have to wait in line. That's why you bought your labels online. So all those people who do have to wait in line, they will give you the dirtiest looks. It always makes my day. I love it. It makes me so happy to see their frustration as I dump all my packages on the counter. Does that make me a bad person, Yelisa?
Yep. So the other thing that I want to share with you guys is that, I have a system, right? Like for me, working on graphics is kind of challenging. So I have to help myself as much as I can. So I kind of come up with this template and then I apply that template to a few of my pictures and I kind of work in bulk. Working in bulk works for me. If I just get like, there's days that I only get 1 order or no orders, right? So if I just work on that 1 order, I end up wasting time. I'd rather just work on a few orders at the same time. So that day to me is like a marketing day, picture day, catching up on stuff that I'm running behind on day. And I like to work at least to a few orders at a time to maximize my my time. But that being said, when I didn't have that many orders coming in, I was kind of just, making them as I went. So it also depends on the stage of your business that you're in. And that's why I kept on telling you guys that this is going to vary. The other thing is that I am a made-to-order shop. So I don't have all my stuff pre-made because it depends on the size that you're going to order. And I don't want to have a whole bunch of XLs and then have a lot of people ordering XS and me having to tweak those that I have pre-made anyway. So what I do is that, like for the adjustable bracelets, if I get an order of a rose quartz one and I know that kind of sells well, I thread like 10 of them at the same time and kind of keep them with the cord in a certain length so that I can clip it, adjust it. And next time I get 1 order of those, I don't have to go find the bead box that has all those beads, take it out, string it. No, I already have it there. I just pick it up from a little, I have like a filing system where I have all my bracelets that are kind of started that way. And, that's another thing. And like regarding that organization, the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is this. This is something that I started doing where I get this little bag and I bought a Rollo label printer, which is saving me so much time instead of cutting and adding tape to the labels. And in that little bag, I put everything that goes in 1 order. So I'm not going to show you the front because I don't want the addresses going in. So right now I have 4 orders that I'm working on and I've got the little bags and, they each have a little bit of what's going to be going in there. And that'll also help me not make the mistake of mixing up orders. I've only mixed up orders twice in 2 years. And I'm kind of so very proud about that.
Yeah, it's less than me. I've done it a couple times, but what I do is I'm just like, oh, you can keep the one that was wrong, and I'll send you the one that you actually ordered. And they're usually way happier about that.
Yep. And I had this lady, she actually ordered the wrong the wrong type of bracelet for her. She was like, I really am not enjoying it. So she wants a different one. And so what I told her was, and she's also a repeat customer, right? So I was like, you know what, let's do something. Keep that one. And instead of paying shipping back and forth, I'll just put up a listing for shipping for a new one. And that one that you have extra, gift it to somebody that needs it. I'm sure that the universe is working this way because you know who you're going to gift this to, and that bracelet was going to go to that person. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're so awesome. I'm going to be coming back for sure. I'm going to get all my Christmas presents from you. And you know, I know it's not sustainable to do this in all business models, in all business types, but in mine it is. So if you have one that's similar to mine, don't be afraid to lose a couple of dollars or a few dollars, because that might work for you in the long run.
And the framing of that is great. That's where I think that the true difference is made, because rather than just saying, oh, you could just keep it, you can just have it, you can keep it, you say I'm sure that you have someone in mind that would enjoy this. Go ahead and give this one as a gift, and I'll send you the one that you want, you know, and then you can both have one. Or you can share this with someone you care about. Like, that is so much, that's a better frame. There are way better ways to communicate with your customers, to frame your mistakes in a positive way so that the customer isn't, you know, upset, or it helps kind of, I guess, deflect what anger they might have if they're upset in a certain situation. So,
yep, definitely.
So are we still on step 1?
Kind of. I think this is the longest one. And there's another thing that I want to share with you guys. I've shared this with my HAA Alphas. This is kind of like a little packaging caddy that I have. Let me see if you kind of see it well. So I live in an apartment, right? And I'm very, very, I don't have that much space. So I have to find systems that work for me. And I just keep myself organized this way, because that's going to help me get orders out fast. Instead of searching in 5 different places for my packaging stuff, I have it all in that little caddy, bring it to my desk, and work on it. So yeah, that's kind of, I think we can wrap up the first tip.
Which is organization, like, overall, right? Like, stay organized, both with your supplies, with your outgoing orders, and even with the systems that you use internally. You know, whether that be your bookkeeping or your supplies, there are always ways to stay organized so that you can get faster and faster at what you do. You might not be in a position to scale or to hire new people, but what you can do is teach yourself a pattern that improves your own productivity. That way you can perform better and perform faster and get better and better over time, so that as orders increase, you are evolving with the number of orders that you're getting, which is what Yelisa has done. So,
and also remember that you're creating a sustainable method. It's something that you want to carry on over, because I mean, even though I love what I'm doing, I got in business because I want to make money. So the only way for me to be able to also scale and hire people is having these methods, because it's easy to teach somebody to just grab that caddy and do what I do, instead of just telling them the 10 different places where I have everything and they have to go look for it. And, you know, it's a whole, it's easier process too when you're ready to hire somebody to help you.
Stephanie just pointed out that Amy was pacing back and forth behind me, and I didn't even know that she was down here. I had no idea that Amy was down here. So, all right. So, step 1 is organization. Let's move on to step 2, which is
flexibility.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Chaos. Yes. Yeah, and yes, you talk about that all the time, and how true that is, because like I said before, you think you have your method, but you have to be flexible. Stuff happens. Like it happened to me last week. We had to rush out of town, and had I not had all the systems in place, I have my little baggies, so I was able to take them with me and kind of finish the orders over there. And sometimes I work. There's some meetings that I go to where I'm here listening to speakers talk, and it's kind of like a spiritual growth type of thing. So I just take my stuff with me because I have all that planned. So, so I had to be flexible, very, very flexible. I had to do a launch. My collection launch, I had to do it from a hotel room. So talk about flexibility, not being able to be in my room where I have everything at hand. I still did my launch. It still worked well. And honestly, like in 3 hours, I sold 27 items, which is my biggest launch ever because I had never sold so many items in such a short time frame from a new collection.
Sometimes a change of scenery is nice for when you're doing video, I've noticed. Like, for example, we always do the streams right here. There are going to be some changes, hopefully starting next week. I won't go into the details, but we always pretty much keep things consistent. Every once in a while, you guys see a bunch of junk in the background when we're moving things around, but it's always in front of, our branded wall. However, there are a few weeks ago, we did a video where the thumbnail is different. It's just my face going, making like a sad face, and it says YouTube crashed our autumn stream, and it's me and Nate sitting at my desk, because this is Mark's desk. Me and Nate sitting at my desk over there, and I streamed from my phone, and it was just chaotic. And that video, for some reason, it has more views than most of our videos do, because it was a different environment. So we're actually going to be experimenting with different backgrounds and things. It's weird how things like that just change everything. And from your perspective, Yelisa, I can see it as your audience, they know that you're traveling and that things are hectic, and you're still there for them. Like, that you're despite the fact, I mean, you could have easily canceled it or moved it or postponed it, but you still showed up.
Yeah. So. And the other thing is that in order to be flexible and not go into chaos, you need to have also systems that are established, right? So if you always give yourself a few days to have everything ready before the launch, if anything happens, you have those days to get caught up on. So thankfully, I had those days built in, so I wasn't as far behind, because believe me, working in a hotel to create the Etsy listings, which was the one task that I had not finished, that took me like 3 times as long as it would have taken me to just do it from my house, my desk, like my peace of mind where I'm by myself and my daughter is in school. My daughter was talking to me every 5 minutes, and thankfully I had those days built in. So I always try to leave some days for that, especially when I'm doing a launch. And once a week, depending on how busy I am, I want to leave like a free morning without anything scheduled, just so that I can be flexible. And the worst thing that can happen is that I'm caught up. Well, awesome. I invest that time in something else and getting ahead so that I can, be able to be flexible when it happens. So if you have your systems in place and you allow for those days and hours here and there, you can be flexible without it becoming chaotic.
Yeah. And anytime you have time where you feel like you should be doing something, but you don't know what to do the little things like, for example, maybe getting all your packaging like ready. If you have any way that you can put like your business cards already like in your packages, all the little things that take time out of the end game processes, especially like before Black Friday, do those ahead of time. I just had my little sister-in-law, Mark's sister, she came over and she just she cut my bubble wrap for me. She put jump rings on the little tags that I tie on the outsides of my packages. I had her do a stock count for me. Little things like that. And you could even have your kids do little things like that. Can you count all of my stock? And that keeps them busy. It makes them feel important. And you could tie that into their allowance if you wanted to. Or there's so much that you can do to make sure that you're ahead. That way, when you can anticipate that you won't have any time, like Black Friday, for example, you'll have, you know, some of those smaller tasks already out of the way. So that's a really good one.
Definitely. And like just piggybacking what you were saying, like I have my daughter fill in these little baggies with gemstones, and I have her sort them out by gemstone type so that it's easy for me to just add them, because I don't add a candy. This is like my rock candy that I add into my orders. And yeah, like what you were saying, whenever I want, like I feel like I'm tired and I just want to watch TV because I deserve a little break. Hey, take the break, watch TV, but start cutting your little cards and make up some time, because believe me, listen, my printers, half time, they're not working. I can't find them. They're offline. So if I'm ahead of the game, I can get my orders out in time. So whenever one of these printers goes crazy, it's fine. I have enough of these cards to get me through.
Exactly. Tech errors happen. We just experienced some of those today. So always, always make wiggle room in case things don't go as planned. That's why I sent Yelisa the link to join the stream at like 11:30, and we weren't scheduled to start until 11:50. So, all right. So is that the whole of tip number
yes.
2? Is
I think we can get into number 3 now.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So number 3 is my get it done technique. And I didn't come up with this. Actually, a friend shared this with me. There are things that I don't like to do. And in my business, there are some of those things like marketing stuff. I've come to not hate it, but I still don't love it. Like I love making my bracelets, right? But it's something that I have to do because I still don't have the money to hire that out. So what I do is when I see a task that I don't like or that I'm afraid of because I don't know the whole tech stuff that goes with it, or for whichever reason it is, what I do is I set a timer, because when something is that daunting, it feels like it's larger than what it really is. So I set a timer for 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on what I think. And most of the times it's done. Like, I'm just going to put a quick example. My dishwasher, piles of dishes stacked up. And I'm like, oh, this is going to take 2 hours. I set a timer for 10 minutes. And I have extra time to clean up other stuff around the house.
Does that make you feel almost like you're racing that timer too? Like you get it done faster because you're like, oh, I got to get it done before the timer. Like, does it make it a little bit more fun to try to race the timer?
It can help, but it's also, and sometimes it does. But sometimes it's also like in 10 minutes, I am going to be free of this, even if I'm not done, which I hate, this thing that I hate to do. When that timer sounds, I can go back to doing what I love, and then later on I'll go back and set another timer. So it works both ways. Sometimes it's like, let me just get this done while the timer is there. And for other stuff that I really, 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 really don't even enjoy, like the least enjoyable ones, it's like, I only have to do this for 10 minutes. I don't have to do this for the whole day. I only have to do this for 10 minutes. And you'll be surprised that sometimes 10 minutes is just what you need to get it done.
Stephanie said, I use this technique with my girls' cleanup. You should see how fast they work. I never thought of it on my shop. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
See, excuse me. You and I have like very different, like you're a lot more calm and collective and you present yourself that way. And I'm a spazoid. So I could see like where you're like, I will be free of this. I will be free of this and I can walk away. And I'm like, oh, do you get to race the timer? Is it a game? So you can see how totally different our minds work.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of the system. It works no matter what your personality is.
It would work.
Whichever spin you want to give it, those 10 minutes are magical. And sometimes it's 15, 20. I don't suggest going over 15 or 20, because then once you get into that half an hour, it's like, oh, that's too long for me to be tied up doing something I don't want to do.
Right. And you don't also want to feel like you have all the time in the world. Like, I'm going to move so slow. I've got plenty of time. And then you look at the timer and you're like, oh, I've only got 5 minutes left and I've only done 3 dishes. And then that's when you start hustling. I think that I work good under pressure, and it drives Nate crazy. Mark is used to it. Nate is new to this world, and it drives him nuts because I will send him a video to edit, and I usually record it like he has to edit it and have it ready for me by Tuesday morning, and I usually send it to him Monday morning or Monday afternoon. I'm like, all right, it's ready for you. He's like, okay. But right now, it's like the only major thing he needs to do. I wait last minute for everything, but I feel like I live and perform best in chaos. I don't recommend that to most people, especially those who have anxiety. I do have anxiety, but I feel like it's pretty high-functioning anxiety. I have to create crises for myself. Like, I need there to be a crisis for me to be motivated. And if I don't have one, I'll make one. I like the idea of the timer, because I feel like I can create my own little crisis, my own little panic attack. And then once it's over, it's like, oh, I did do it. I got it done. Yay me. I think that I could definitely use the timer both for me and my kiddo, because she's a slow poke. We need timers for everything. Timer for tie your shoes, timer for finish your food, timer for read your homework book. Timers everywhere. All right, so that is probably their favorite tip. Everybody is like agreeing about the crisis. Yeah. So guys, start setting timers on your phones and start panicking, because this is, we're almost to a new year, new you. Anxiety for all of us. Or be like Yelisa and do it the right way. And don't give yourself a panic attack, and actually treat it as something that's going to calm you and not freak you out. So tip number 3, set your timers.
Whatever works for you, right?
Exactly. Just depends on whether you're a Starla or a Yelisa. In fact, let us know in the comments. Are you a Starla or are you a Yelisa? And I will go through and we will see who is the winner here. Do we have more calm alphas or more alphas who need to take a break from Starbucks?
That's so funny.
Oh, all right. Tip number 2.
Okay. So, everybody is writing and saying which style they are. I don't know if you want to start with tip number 4. You want me to start with that, Starla?
Yeah.
Okay, so tip number 4 is very important. I want to say that sometimes you can't do it every week or every month, but be sure to always add some time for learning. The way I feel is that if I am not moving forward with my business, I'm not really static. I'm actually moving backward, because everything is always moving forward. So I'm going to be left behind if I'm not on top of things. So whenever I have those days where I'm all cut up and I want to watch a video, well, guess what? Start cutting up those little cards while you watch the videos and catch up on learning, because this is a very important thing for your business. And to me, even watching HAA all over again gives me a new perspective on things, because the first time I watch it, I have my own limited knowledge, right? And I apply everything that I can with that knowledge. As I grow in business, my knowledge grows as well. So when I go through HAA again, and that happened the second time, I saw new things that I hadn't really even realized. And it sparked like new concepts in my head to try out that I never thought of, because now I have new knowledge. And this is the beauty of that learning process, that you're going to continuously be growing. So if I'm not allowing myself that, my shop is going to stay stagnant, and people are going to be like, oh, there's nothing that sparks me in here anymore. Because even though some people are loyal their whole lives to you, most people want to see new things, new stuff, and they want to get excited about whatever it is that you're offering them again. So learning helps you with that. And
if you're going to be working anyways, you might as well have something in the background that you're listening to. I always have a podcast up. And they're usually, I don't listen to like a lot of business podcasts. I mainly listen to charisma-based podcasts, just because I think that that's the area that I'm most lacking in. I try to improve that frequently. But if you're going to be zoning out, doing things like packing orders, making products, listen to something that's going to help you. I mean, maybe once a week, say, okay, on this day, I'm going to turn on Friends, and every day I'm going to watch Friends, and this is my free day. But then, or this hour, I'm going to listen to Friends, or whatever it is that you got. Friends is the first thing that came to mind. But then, from these hours, I'm going to listen to this podcast and and what's really good is to find yourself a podcast that you enjoy, or a YouTuber that you enjoy that has a weekly video that you can look forward to. That way you know that, okay, every Monday I pack my orders. Monday's also the day that my favorite podcast comes on. It's going to make packing orders a lot more fun. So
yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And the other thing is that you also have to be aware of something. Don't be afraid to invest in learning, not just time-wise, money-wise as well, because you're going to be ending up saving money. Like at the stage of business that I am, dedicating 2 hours to learn how to master something, like let's say iPicky, it's not worth it. If Starla has all those iPicky videos, and if HAA has those iPicky videos, why not pay for that? That it's going to save me 2 hours that I can be productive doing something else in my business, and it's there. And like even with things like HAA, it's not stagnant either. You'll always get new things that come along with it. So, it's like a no-brainer to me. Just, you also have to be mindful on what you spend, right? But if there's something that you need to spend on, that's education, because that's the way to grow. Find somebody that already did, that has done something that you also want to do, and don't spend 100 hours and 3 years learning how to do it by yourself.
Yeah, and that's always been my big thing. And I know that a lot of people say, well, you're a course creator and you're selling a course, so obviously you're going to say, buy my course. But I say that about everything. I say that, if you guys don't want to buy my course, or you don't connect with me, don't buy it. Like, if you don't feel that you could learn from me, then I'm probably not the coach for you. But what I encourage people to do is to think outside the box and to get outside of their comfort zone, because I've seen so many people who will get settled into a pattern that they are happy living in until they die. And that, that might be good for some people, but it's not good for others. So for those who say, I don't want to live this pattern every single day and I want something different, I encourage more people to spend time learning. I feel like education is this really weird thing where we go to school, and maybe you go to college, but then after that you don't spend a lot of time learning things that are completely new to you. And I think that it's the average of, like, there's some ridiculous number, someone should Google it for me, but it's the number of people who actually read a book after high school in their lifetime, and it's like, it's just like 15% or something insane. And that just doesn't sit well with me. And maybe that's because I have a background in education. I started out in early childhood education, so I kind of got to enjoy the really special moments of, the developing stages of education and children, the most influential periods of their lives. But seeing that transfer as adults, it gets harder, because our neural pathways are not going to grow as fast, because we have patterns that have already set in, they've been established, they can't branch out. So what I ask everyone to do is to find education somewhere. It doesn't have to be from me. What I do is I provide free videos that will hopefully help boost your income enough so that you can go purchase whatever source of education that you want, because all the free videos in the world, I mean, I can make 1 million free videos, but it's a completely different experience when you commit a dollar amount towards your education, because you're more likely to complete it. There is a huge part of accountability that plays into that as well. And that's, HAA is not just like an accountability course. It is the only course of its kind. I do want to throw out that disclaimer. But when you invest money in something like all these crazy diet trends where you buy into it, It's not just the fact that you're on this plan. You could find a free plan anywhere. You committed money to it, you know? And that really does help with your overall accountability. I bought a charisma course from some YouTubers that I actually talked to one of them a few weeks ago. We had a meeting, but I bought their course, and it was like, it wasn't super expensive. It was like $500, I believe. But, you know, it's really just tips on communication and being able to present yourself in a better way. And it's all things that I kind of already knew, but because they have it laid out in a, today you're going to do this, it's more of like an accountability aspect where I committed the money to it. I need to complete it for me. So I just ask that you guys, you know, not to rant anymore, but really think about how much you're dedicating to learning, because you know, on your deathbed, it's not going to be about the house that you bought. It's not going to be about the car that you bought. It's not going to be about any of the material possessions in your home. What matters is you and your investment in you. And education is the best way. Health and education are the best ways to invest in you, because you will have you longer than you will have anything that you own. Take care of you, because you can get yourself out of any situation if you can learn to navigate through it. I am a high school graduate. I did not go to college. Everything that I've learned, I did that through self-education, and I spent the time doing it. And if I want to know how to do something, I do it. I figure it out. So there's my rant. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Starla's TED Talk. Back to Yelisa.
I totally agree with you. And when you're talking about you and what you take with you, it kind of ties up with the fifth tip that I have, is that your business is not against a race against time, against other businesses, against how much money you're going to be making, and like a status kind of thing. Your business is just something for you. Set your rhythm. See how it becomes, how you can make it more efficient year after year, while planning to have a learning curve, because that's one thing, you know, when I started in both HTU and HAA, because I carried it over from one to the other, I kept comparing myself and wishing, I really want to get to where that shop that is selling, I don't know, thousands of dollars is. And of course, yeah, I want to get there, but that doesn't happen today. There's a lot of work that you have to put into it. And like HAA gives you a lot of simple tasks, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. The tasks that you have to do are simple, but you do have to have that investment, right? So you can't compare your start with somebody else's middle, and not even with somebody else's beginning either, because it also depends on the niche, a lot of things of what you bring into your business, what you've learned, and where your knowledge is. So as that knowledge evolves, you're going to be bringing more into your business. And even if I were to close this one down and start a whole new business, I would not be starting at the same point that I started 2 years ago when I started my other, like this business that I have right now, right? So don't compare yourself against anybody else. These testimonials of success are awesome because you know that the method works and the things that we're doing work. And it's possible that you can get there, but don't stress yourself out if you're not getting a sale, a cha-ching every single day. I used to stress myself out, and I'm like, why are other people getting cha-chings and I am not getting a cha-ching? That was not taking me anywhere good. I can, instead of wasting that time worrying in that, I can just waste it, and not waste it, really invest it in working my business and making it grow and making it better each time. And as long as I'm making it better, more efficient, and I see that there is growth, that is all that's really important, that there is growth.
All right. We've got, we are down to our last 10 minutes and we have one more step. So do we want to dive into that?
That was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one?
That was the last one,
crap.
Yeah.
Well, somebody said I need step 5. That was step 5, guys. So
yeah, step 5. I'm just going to go really fast over the steps. 1, organization. 2, flexibility versus chaos. The third one was my get it done technique. The fourth is invest in learning. And the fifth one was your business is not really a race against time, because you don't want to compare yourself against, not even against yourself. We each have our own path.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, it was hard when I started HAA to not compare myself to Renee Christine, because she was the only other person that I had, and you'll notice that a lot of my marketing when I first started out was very similar to hers, because she was my only frame of reference and she helped me a lot. This HAA launch, guys, I know that you're familiar with how we've kind of marketed HAA in the past. I really went based on your guys' feedback. I don't want to market to you. I don't want to try to convince you. That's not my job. I don't want to try to... There's a difference between convincing and persuasion, I feel. And my job is not to force to convince you. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is show you the things that will allow you to make an educated decision on your own, whether or not you decide to join or not. And our marketing is going to be all about that this quarter. I'm sorry, it's not a quarter. We only open twice a year, so it wouldn't be a quarter. I want you guys to reap the full benefits, not just from the course, if you decide to join, but from the marketing that will take place for the course, which will be starting, I think, next week. We are going to be doing all student stories. We are going to be showcasing the shops of tons of our successful students. We have some great videos that are going to be coming out from our Alpha of the Year applicants who are competing right now for, there I go, who are competing for the title of Alpha of the Year, which is an award that we do in HAA. And I think that you guys are actually, for once, going to enjoy marketing, because our marketing is going to be very, very different than anything we've done before. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. All right. Yes, don't forget the Black Friday sheet. Guys, make sure that down below you grab the Black Friday survival guide. This is the absolute last chance to be able to get that. If you have any questions for Yelisa, we've got about 10 minutes, but in the meantime, grab the Black Friday survival guide. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy me. I'm normally not sick and having this really nasty smoker's cough, as someone called it last week. I promise I haven't picked up any new habits. I'm just maintaining my old bad habits, like drinking coffee and staying up too late. Let's see, Starla Moore, I have a clip I will be sending you, not for Alpha of the Year though. That is perfectly fine. Give me all of the clips. If you guys have questions, go ahead and get them in. I'm trying so hard not to cough. Livia, love all the tips. We should put the tips, well, I was going to say we should take the tips and put them in the description, but maybe we should just make people watch the whole video. They won't get the full benefit of the tips if they just read the the tips without the context. They need the full context.
Yeah. Starla, and if you don't mind, while we're waiting for people to ask questions, I just want to mention really briefly that having awesome customer service is the best thing that you can also give your business, because people are going to want to stay with you if they know that you're going to be there for them. And there are many things that you do this with, like Starla, in HAA, we have the swipe files. So all those things help you in that cycle, that method. There's a lot of good things in HAA to help you get there. But you have to also always put yourself in the customer's shoes. Even though sometimes I've had some people that I'm sure they were trying to scam me. So I rant sometimes a little bit, but I never respond an email when I'm heated. Like anything that a customer brings in, I never take on replying immediately. I calm myself first and think, how would I like to receive a reply to this message if it were me standing in that person's shoes?
Yeah, and it's always good to also think, what is the ideal resolution? And am I responding in a way that's going to kindle my ideal resolution? And if my ideal resolution is that this person messages me back and, you know, they have a nice tone and they're polite, then I need to write my message with that in mind. So we do have quite a few questions now.
But
Let's see. What is the Black Friday sheet? The Black Friday survival guide is linked down below. There is a little Christmas tree icon beside it. That is a PDF that you can grab for free, but you need it as soon as possible because it's going to include a checklist of different marketing and things that you should be doing to gear up for Black Friday, and that has already technically started. So what should I do? Because I have one listing and I'm good on my tags and SEO and stuff like that. If you have one listing, you need more listings. I would recommend getting more listings because you're not going to be able to boost one listing in search results unless those listings can kind of communicate with each other. Sales kind of equate to that big picture as well. You need to have more than one listing in your shop. I would work on creating more products. Would love to have a video on how to write item descriptions. We kind of keep that in HAA just because I have this huge drawn out, like really big, there's like, I have a thing where you can just copy and paste to use for your descriptions, and we really cover it in depth because there's a lot that goes into it. I could make like a quick video on item descriptions, but it changes so much from product to product. So it's a little bit hard when you get into specifics like that.
And that module, Starla, changed my life. Like the way that I write copy right now is so influenced by that module that I don't struggle with that anymore. It used to be one of my biggest nemesis, and it's not. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was like that when you that was like one of your first big things, like one of your first posts in the group, I believe, when you joined the student campus, was that, oh, I struggle with copy, and now it's like doesn't even take you any time at all. Let's see. Can you pay for HAA in installments? Yes, we have a 6-month payment plan. Pricing for HAA will be releasing in just a few weeks. The reason that we don't release pricing ahead of time is because we have a huge discount for people who are on our email list or on the waiting list. Both of those links are down below. You can join both of them. One, you'll get a freebie. The other one, you're just on the HAA waiting list, and you get a bunch of additional emails about HAA and a countdown timer. Feel free to sign up for both. You won't double subscribe to my email list if you do that. But that's why we don't release the pricing, because we want it to be a big surprise. However, if you need to know the pricing, you're free to email me at starla@handmadealphaacademy.com, and we're not like going to hide the price from you so you don't know how much to save up. Just keep in mind that we do it so that there's like, you know, a little bit of a surprise for everybody. Let's see. Just a heads up, I think the dates are a day off on the Black Friday cheat sheet. Yeah, excuse me. Somebody caught that this week, that one of the dates is messed up. I plan to make a post in the group just to let everybody know. Hopefully everybody catches that, but one of the dates is like off by a day. Let's see. I hope this video will be possible to watch again. It will. We do replays on all of our Friday Q&As. Do you recommend me getting E-Rank immediately? I do. I do recommend you getting E-Rank immediately, but start with the free version because you won't, if you've only got one listing, odds are you don't need Pro yet. Nate, our other employee who works for me, he's also our best friend and video editor. He is also an employee of E-Rank as well. So though we are not like official affiliates of E-Rank, I work very closely with Anthony Wolf. We've hung out. And I can pretty much message him anytime, so he's a great guy. December 1st can't come soon enough. Actually, it can because I have so much left to prepare for Black Friday and the holidays, but can't wait to join. Thank you, Yelisa and Starla. And then another person, why can't it just be December 1st right now? That's my goal. That was the whole plot. There's a secret plot for the Black Friday Survival Guide, Yelisa. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure everyone makes a bunch of sales, right? And if they have a bunch of sales, then they'll have all this money. And then they'll send it to me. And then they'll join HAA. And then I will have all... No.
You're a mastermind.
I'm a mastermind. No, I really just want to make sure that I can pay Nate, and we're trying to work on some new stuff for you, and we need to get our studio finished up, and I also need to eat sometimes. So that's like a big thing. Do you have a video about MailChimp 2019? In Handmade Alpha Academy, I do. On the channel, I do not. I'm just working hard to get my listings built up at this stage. Sales are picking up slowly. I'm glad that we have these great tips and tricks to assist. We will not be stopping anytime soon with the tips and tricks. So, guys, I hope that you have had an amazing Friday thus far. I apologize for my disgusting smoker's cough. However, I think that Yelisa has been able to pull most of the weight for this stream. If you guys are interested in checking out Yelisa's shop, joining her VIP list to check out how she emails her list, her Facebook group, her Instagram, her Facebook page. Am I missing any? Is there...
No, just that you're going to get a 30% discount, and you're also going to get a lot of pampering if you join my VIP list.
Yes, make sure that you check out all of those links down below. And I did want to, I wasn't going to do this today, but I wanted, just because we were on the topic of HAA, like, give me like 2 minutes. I wanted to point out that we had somebody comment on the channel a few days ago, and they probably will never watch another video again. So this is like me having something that's weighing heavily on my head that I need to get out for me, or else it's going to drive me crazy. So Yelisa, we're going to do like a vent session today real quick. We're going to talk. You're my friend, you're my girlfriend right now, and I'm real sad. We had somebody who commented, and they said something about, why would you charge for Handmade Alpha Academy? If you really wanted to help Etsy sellers, you would do it all for free. And I actually watched a video the other day, which for one, what astounded me is they said that, and there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of free videos on my channel. But I watched a video the other day that it talked about how to combat like situations like this. And I think that the biggest thing, and the reason that I'm using this today is I want you guys to be able to apply this for any of the services that you personally offer. So this isn't just me venting, this is me hoping that this helps you, because I've seen this situation many a times where people say, you know, why is this so expensive, or why isn't this free, or why are you charging for this, especially when it comes to art. I think that when it comes to service-based businesses, there's this really strange idea that a standard of living is not equal. So they believe that when they go to work every day, that they demand payment. And this is what this video covered. They demand payment, right? And when you do a service that, you know, and you especially if you give some of it for free, that it should all be for free, and that people who do service-based businesses or art or content creation do not deserve or should not receive the same level of stability. And it's not like Mark and I are driving like a Maserati, and it's not like we live in a mansion. We live in actually what I consider a tiny house, like, you know, literally the trendy little tiny houses. That's what we live in. So when it comes to situations like these, especially for our artists out there who spend so much time on artwork, and where people think, you know, or photography for that example, you know, for example, I just think that it's really important that you guys know your worth. You know how much your work is valued at. You know how much time you put into what you do, and the people that you care about, and the people that you serve. And for those who tell you that you are not worth whatever it is that you're charging, or that you are, you know, overpricing your products or services, or that you shouldn't charge for them because they want them and maybe they just, you know, can't afford it and they're lashing out at you for that reason, hold up to your values, and don't ever let anybody like that cause you to decrease your prices. Because in our example, you know, for HAA, we donate to so many charities. Like, we spend so much of our money on the Wolf Conservation Center of South Salem, New York, the Planetary Society, and even our PetSmart, our local, like, PetSmart donation center that does, you know, helps the local shelter. That's one that we don't talk about. And, you know, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So don't let anybody persuade you to change your prices. Your prices are there for a reason, and you know what you're worth. So that's my little rant at the end, and I hope that you guys can apply that to your own businesses. So,
and I'll just add two little things really fast. One is a friend of mine. He's dead now, so sad. He told me one day, there will always be people that will talk well about you, and there will always be people that won't. And you won't be able to do anything about it. Accept it, and only you can allow how that's going to affect you. So that's the first thing I want to give you guys. I know it's hard. We kind of take these things personally, but that's the thing. Don't, because whatever those people are saying is a reflection on them, not on you.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. And you don't, and they're probably not your target customer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's okay. You know, and I tell you guys, I don't want to try to convince you to buy something that you don't want. If you don't want it, don't buy it. Nobody's making you. Nobody's making you buy it. And if you can't afford it right now and it's something that you aspire to do someday, I will support you and I will love you and I will help you, whether you can buy or cannot buy or plan to buy or do not plan to buy. I treat you guys all the same. Obviously, my students get more of my time, but my energy, I would say that my public channel probably gets more of my energy because I'm here every single Friday and I'm creating videos on Tuesdays, and I put a lot into this for you guys. And this has been 2 years of my life that I've missed, you know, putting my daughter on the bus, taking her off of the bus, doing homework with her, going to karate class. I sacrifice a lot of that so that I can bring you guys this content to help you. So I love you guys, and I know that you know that. So yeah. Hopefully this can be applied to your businesses. I just needed to get that off my chest. All right, guys. I need to get off here because I feel a cough attack coming on. There it goes. That's what happens after your rants. We will be back next Friday with a new guest. You guys don't get to know who it is because it's a surprise. Right. And then Tuesday, you can expect another holiday series video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for that. Get the Black Friday Survival Guide down below. What are you doing? Why are you just sitting there? Do it. Join the Handmade Alpha Facebook group. Call your mom. Tell her you joined. She'll love it. And we will see you next week with more amazing Etsy content and hopefully no rants. How do I end this stream? They changed everything and I don't know how. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Are you ready to say goodbye, Yelisa?
Yes, I am.
Well, don't
Bye,
hang up
guys.
on me because we can still talk, but say goodbye to them.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Starla. I always love coming here, and goodbye, guys.
Goodbye. Yes, I want to end the stream. Goodbye.